What did Peter do? I don't know. I actually don't know. So it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to look at the latest issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. This is the issue that tried to explain why Maryjane and Paul are in an intimate relationship in the modern day, and why Peter and MJ aren't in a relationship anymore. I wonder how many times that sentence has been uttered over the last 20 years. Either way, this issue breaks down Paul and MJ's relationship whilst also tackling the question of what did Peter actually do. We're going to get into all of that and a detailed breakdown of this week's issue, but before we do, subscribe. Just straight up. You clicked on this video, you like Spider-Man, this is straight up a Spider-Man channel. There you go. Now subscribe. Subscribe! Anyway, let's break it down, shall we? We start off where the last issue started once again. However, this time the story is told from MJ's perspective. Paul is ready to do what it takes to save both of their lives, but MJ isn't having any of it. She's just lost Peter, the man that she loves, and she doesn't know what to do, but she knows that she's going to have to get him back. At first, she rejects Paul, and I actually kind of like this. MJ cares for Peter, and it shows here, which I was afraid, given how bad this run has been so far, that they'd just make MJ play it off as if nothing happened, but generally, this was handled pretty well. The comic mainly then takes us on a montage of the lives that MJ and Paul lived throughout their time in this alternate dimension. They take us through some of the adventures and interactions they have with each other. Throughout these interactions, they try to show us why Paul and MJ fell in love with each other. However, the issue I have here, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well, is that it feels completely unbelievable. Not only has MJ been in an intimate relationship with Peter Parker for so many years, and even though they've been on and off, we know them as the power couple, we know that they fall in love, and that they are soulmates. But also, it's the fact that we're never actually shown anything of Paul. I know I joke around a lot in these videos about Paul, but genuinely, and I'm going to be completely honest here, he is a poor character. We're never shown anything about Paul, who he is as a person, why we should care about him. We never get to see his interests, his hobbies, and what draws him towards Maryjane. As far as the audience is concerned, he's the guy that steals MJ from Peter. And since the fandom is so attached to the relationship, given that it's Marvel's iteration of the iconic Superman and Lois power couple, it would take something pretty revolutionary and convincing to get the fans on board with Paul and MJ being an item, and drawing MJ away from Peter. It only seems like she gets with him because he's literally the only guy there. Like, there's literally no other human beings apart from two kids, which we'll get to later. But literally, he's the only guy there. And I would totally get this montage section if they tried to make Paul a nice guy and a likable character. But they don't even try. They haven't even tried in the previous issues, and they don't even try here, which is my main issue with Paul as a character. And I'm not going to lie, it actually disappoints me that professional writers could care so little about a character that is meant to be so crucial and important to the overall story. Paul is the most important character in this run, whether you like it or not. He's the reason MJ and Peter aren't together. He is the reason why the status quo set by Nick Spencer's run was actually disrupted in the first place. And he's not even explored in any sort of depth. He is the most one-dimensional character that I've ever had the displeasure of reading, and it disheartens me knowing that me, a guy that has never written anything professionally in his career yet, could do a better job than most of the people at the helm of writing this comic. And I don't just speak for myself, I bet a lot of you think the same too. Also, she calls him Tiger! No, that's it, I'm done. You can't do that! That's not... I can't believe this. That is unbelievable. Although there is some hope, we actually find out that MJ and Paul's kids aren't actually their kids, and they are in fact adopted. You see, we've been back and forth on this channel for months debating whether they were actually their kids or not. At first it seemed like they weren't because they'd be too old, but then it was revealed that time moved differently in this alternate dimension, so we all assumed that they were their actual kids because that's how they'd explained the time jump and how the kids got older and how they just weren't babies and, you know, how they're like kind of like 5 years old, I guess, right? But now it's revealed that they were, in fact, adopted and raised by MJ and Paul in this alternate universe, which, thank God for that. Not being horrible, like, I'm sure the kids are great and everything, but given that they're not biologically tied to MJ, it's going to make it so much easier to bin them off for Peter. I'm sorry, it's the truth. We were all thinking it. So we get more scenes that imply their relationship is developing, and this little montage is generally done well. However, because of the lack of depth of Paul's character, it kind of renders any importance that these scenes have obsolete. Like, they're not important in the slightest. Like, I do not care about Paul as a character. I am never shown why Paul is important to the story. I am never shown why I should care about Paul. I'm never shown why MJ likes him. I'm never shown why Paul even likes MJ. So, like... You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like we said earlier, like, you know, if they kind of fleshed this out a little bit more, this would have been great, but it's just not. We also get more of a backstory as to how MJ got her powers in the Maryjane and Black Cat comic too, and they were given to her during this time in the alternate dimension, which, okay, I guess, it's fine. You guys know why I hate that. I've made plenty of videos discussing that. Either way, Rabin returns, and this is where we're caught up to modern day, with Peter coming back. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of feel bad for Peter here. I do feel like that if that was the love of your life, you would be disappointed. I'm just annoyed because this moment could have been so good if they just did Paul's character right. This could have been such a heartbreaking moment for the series, but it just isn't. Like, if they showed why MJ and Paul actually loved each other, and they went into depth with Paul's character, and we kind of understood as an audience, like, if we were in MJ's position, we'd probably love Paul too, then this would be all the more heartbreaking, because you'd be like, well, yeah, Peter is MJ's soulmate, but she is in love with Paul, and that is kind of realistic. You know, we can see why. But they never show us. Like, it's just... I'm sorry, I've talked about this too much. I'm rambling at this point, but you guys get the picture. We cut back to MJ and Peter on Earth after the whole incident and after Rabin is dead, and it turns out that MJ had basically been narrating the whole thing to Peter at this point. And Peter is kind of like, well, what can I do, basically? It turns out that MJ and Paul have been in there for 4 years. They kind of reminisce with each other, basically saying that they were ready to move in with one another, and everything was going right. But once again, their relationship gets screwed up. Who would have known? Peter then again encounters the Fantastic Four. They are also written really horribly and out of character once again. I hope Wells never touches the Fantastic Four ever, but yeah, that's the comic. That's pretty much it. Also, Captain America shows up for like one panel. So, what did Peter do? I don't know. The whole series led to this point, and they made it look like it was going to be Peter's fault, or there was going to be a consequence of Peter's actions that would have led to him and MJ breaking up. But there wasn't. Literally, this is not Peter's fault. If anything, it's MJ's fault for cheating on Peter. I get that they've been gone for like 4 years, and there was uncertainties that they would even make it back to Earth, but come on, I mean, if you were Peter in this situation, you would have the right to feel this way, right? None of this is Peter's fault. Peter did not do anything wrong. Either way, this story shouldn't have happened. It's pointless dragging us back to square one when this relationship is what needs to work for us to move forward. That or just sack it off completely and do something new with the character. Right now, at the chronologically furthest point in time in this run, Peter is actually dating Felicia. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see how they handle that in the next issue when we get back to current modern day. But yeah, either way, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with the Spider-Man comics, because every time a new issue comes out, we do review it, we do break it down, I do give you my opinions. And yeah, these videos are kind of comedic here and there, but I generally like to give a serious opinion every once in a while, like I did with Paul. And you know, we do talk about serious things sometimes. We do go in depth with characters, we do analyze the stories, but also we kind of do these jokey videos as well. So make sure you subscribe because you get a bit of everything. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the bell as well. Also, like 86% of you aren't subscribed when you watch these videos, so what are you doing? You like Spider-Man? Just subscribe, you know what I mean? Also, the members page is open now, called Lewis Unlimited, for 99 pence a month. 99 pence for 30 days. You can get every single video that I upload early. And if you made it this far in the video, then first of all, I don't know what you're doing still being here, but if you have, then and if you've stepped through this plug, then get the membership. I don't know. Maybe you like my videos. I don't know. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.